the chair.
It's true. It's true. That's a good point. We should go back to that.
If I'd known we were gonna have a young guest tonight, we could have had him climb up.
Yes.
No, we might have violated some child labor laws.
We had to do that too. We couldn't get the venue we wanted booked on the Saturday. So we said, well, do it on Friday. So it happens.
Maybe that's what I didn't think about. Okay. So sorry about that.
That's okay, not a problem.
Call this meeting to order. We'll start off with the invocation by Jack. Thanks, Jack.
Let's pray. Father God, I come before you tonight praising you and thanking you for your loving kindness, for the prosperity and the blessings you have granted the city of Warsaw. We're truly blessed in a land where we can live, work, and play. Father, in this time, when so many in our nation face chaos and riots, I thank you for the determined service and sacrifice given by our public officials and employees, and in particular, our fire and police officers. I pray you keep them strong, healthy, and safe as they work to do good. Now, as we contemplate the city's business, I pray you will grant us knowledge, discernment, and wisdom as we're called upon to set the direction for the future. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen, Jack. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated.
Shirt just almost exactly like that. Exactly. These are so comfortable.
Welcome, everybody, tonight. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from our last meeting.
Would you like me to mark Mr. Voss absent?
Yeah, Jurgen is absent for the record. Thank you for catching that one.
You might. Okay. Carry on.
Are there any questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I would move to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion to approve.
I'll
Is there a
second.
second? There's a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. And I want to welcome everybody who is here this evening. Guests here, department heads, welcome. There are no reports, oral, written. Unfinished business. Lynn, ordinance 2025-10-1. What are we looking at here?
It's the budget for 2026. We went over it last meeting. Nothing has changed on this ordinance, but we did get our full AV and our assessed valuation, and it went up, what, 11.5%, Jeff? So
11.5.
this advertised rate will go drastically down.
You do need action on this, though?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
This is the second reading night and
Second
adoption.
reading. Okay. Any questions from the members?
I move we accept ordinance 2025-1001.
Motion to accept on second reading. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it, Lynn. Thank you.
And you do have to sign this, so don't run off after the meeting, please.
We need a signature tonight.
Yep.
Okay, so it does need you to sign a hard copy again, so thanks for sticking around.
From
for that.
everybody, or
I'm sorry?
from everybody?
Yes. I think I do remember that in the last
We have
page.
to check, right, what we voted and.
Yes, the yes,
sign.
no.
I can go ahead and check that now, so you guys don't have to worry about
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's a big help.
That'll take us to new business. Jeremy, you have a couple items here. Public hearing, Husky Trail annexation. What is this here?
Just a point of order. I think that stuff is not posted in the right place. So I found this underneath the adopting fiscal plan, and I didn't find any fiscal plan on our board pack. So
Mine's accurate,
yours is
Yeah, I do
accurate.
have it.
yeah.
So there's absolutely nothing for me besides this one. And then the information for this one is underneath the next agenda item.
Do you want to see a copy of it, Diane?
I have that one, I don't have the fiscal
The
plan.
fiscal plan's attached to this, if you want to look at it.
No, I don't have that one, yeah.
You wanna look at
Yes,
it?
please.
Diane, mine's the same as
It's
yours.
the, yeah, it's the.
Yours is the same as mine.
Yeah.
So, in general, about a month and a half ago, you reviewed a petition for annexation. As part of that process, we are required to do an advertisement for a public hearing, and that advertisement has to occur 20 days prior to the public hearing. So today is that advertised public hearing, so basically you're just opening it up to anybody who wishes to speak for or against. Close the public hearing, there's no action on the ordinance tonight. That ordinance would be presented 14 days after the public hearing. But what you can take action on, which will be next in line, would be that fiscal plan. But the first thing is just the public hearing, so you're just opening that up for anybody who's here for or against the annexation. And then afterward, we can discuss the fiscal plan.
And Jeremy, there's a map of the property, I think on
Yes.
the last page. This is along Husky Trail, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the fiscal plan has all the information for what technically the public hearing is for. There's 3 properties along Husky Trail owned by Chandler Williams that he's requesting to be annexed in off of Husky Trail.
Is the map, it's appendix 2 on the last page, page 14, is that the area of those 3, or?
Yeah, although it looks like it isn't right, but, so there's 2 homes and a barn that sits in between the apartment development and the subdivision there. Those are the 3 properties that are being annexed in.
Which are to the south, is that correct?
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
white line? you can
Yeah, I don't know
see.
why that white line changed, but if
Yeah.
you shift that down, it would cover those properties. So the 2 homes there, and then this larger tract that runs back towards the subdivision.
Just to the south on Husky Trail. Okay. And what exactly are you wanting again tonight?
So the first step is just the public hearing. You're just opening it up to the public hearing to anybody who wants to speak for or against,
Okay.
after which you can close the public hearing.
Okay. I'll open it up to the public. Any comments on this annexation? Petition to annex this property along Husky Trail. Any comments from the public for or against? Hearing none, I'll close that to the public. Jeremy, again seeking advice here on next steps.
Yeah, so the next step, you can approve the fiscal plan tonight, and then the ordinance will come back before you, at which point you can start the adoption of the annexation at the next council meeting, which is 14 days after the public hearing. What you have tonight is a resolution, fiscal resolution, or a resolution approving the fiscal plan, and the fiscal plan is attached to the resolution. There are 2 homes on the lot. The property is already serviced by the Wayne, Warsaw-Wayne Fire Territory, so that won't have any impact. The bulk of the properties out there are already serviced by us. The roads are already serviced by us, so it's very minimal impact on the actual taxes and the cost of service. We will generate a few additional taxes associated with this property, but the bulk of the property is just 2 homes and a barn that is dilapidated. The intent would be to work with Chandler to package this property for redevelopment.
So we are looking at a resolution, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yep.
2025-10-01, connected to the petition. This is the written fiscal plan, and you're asking that the council tonight take action on that resolution for or against.
Yes, so you would basically approve the fiscal plan, and then at the next meeting, I'll present the actual ordinance. There's some appendixes, there's some summary of costs due to annexation, summary of net impact or increase in levy, which would be taxes generated. Obviously, there won't be any taxes generated this year since we're paying arrears, but next year would amount to potentially $1,900 in additional taxes, and that goes up depending on the increase in the assessed value. There's some additional costs for fuels, materials, repairs. I mean, most of it's pretty minimal because, like I said, we already service that area with most of our parks and fire and police already. 90% of Husky Trails in that area is already inside the city limits. So minimal impact on our costs. And then obviously the intent would be to take that property and hopefully repackage it for a higher purpose.
Any questions for Jeremy?
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 2025-10-01.
Motion to approve the resolution, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it, thank you. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yep. Next meeting, I'll bring the ordinance to you. I'll have 2 readings. It'll get advertised in the paper. After the advertisement, in the 30 days, we'll record the annexation and it'll take effect.
Thanks, Jeremy. Item number 3, Justin, petition for voluntary annexation.
Yeah, so this is the step that you guys previously had done with what Jeremy just presented, so just remember everything he just said for the next meeting when we're doing the next step. But this is that first step. There's no action needed by council. It's just the legal requirement that once somebody approaches us to be annexed in, we bring this before you. We also run ads in the paper, as Jeremy laid out. There's just 4 steps to the process. So this is step 1. Just let me know if you have any other questions regarding that voluntary annexation petition.
Okay, so no action needed, but presented to council and accepted. Okay?
So it's basically the 3624 that's right in between the other parts that are already the city.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense for us to take this on. So I included that little aerial snapshot of the area, just so you can see how it's completely surrounded by city already. So, okay.
And then they want to keep it industrial when it's annexed.
Yeah, yep.
Any other questions?
I see it's along State Road 15. Is it north, south,
It's north of town.
north?
Yep.
Any other questions?
It's where Ideal Construction is. Just south of the animal
How about
hospital.
Petros? Oh, Tico Med.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ticomet.
And no action needed, you're just presenting
No,
to
just
council?
presenting that to council.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing no more questions, we'll move on to the next item. Looks like a transfer resolution. Justin?
Yeah, I'm just requesting city council approval of this transfer resolution. This is to help us pay for new computers. The IT department, our IT consultant came to our department and noticed that there were a handful of computers that were deficient that would not be able to be updated to Windows 11, which we need to do for security purposes. So this was one of those things that is quite a hit on our operating supply budget, relatively small operating supply budget. So to buy a handful of computers, we just needed to move a little bit of those funds around from our professional services into operating to cover those costs.
So the upgrade, we realize we have older equipment up there that has to be.
And we usually do a computer, one or two computers at a time, but this was a more substantial update that we had to do.
Okay.
You might get it done just in time for 12 to come out.
And the hope is that these would, be good for a number of years. They make it obsolete after a while with the processors, so it's
How many?
about 5, yeah.
I take it it's hardware that's keeping him from being able to upgrade?
Yeah, it's typically the processors, and Brady could talk your ear off about
Yeah.
all the requirements and the specs that are needed, but my computer, I thought was spec'd out for many more years, and he said, nope, it could not be updated, so he went through and tested each one and told us what we needed.
That's why it would go longer than
Yes,
maybe even Windows 13.
there we go.
Yeah.
I have to replace 2, so it's an epidemic in the
It's
city
going
right
around,
now.
too.
It happens. I know where I came from. They upgraded our laptops every 3 years, no matter what. And they found it to be cheaper to do that than it was to update, yeah. So with that said, I will move that we accept Resolution 2025-1003.
Motion to approve this resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Thanks, Justin. The next 4 items are coming from HR. It's budget season. We have several salary ordinances that we need to introduce tonight, consider, and probably begin acting on them. So, Denny, we'll start with the general salary ordinance.
Okay, first I want to read something here real quick. The dedication, hard work of our city employees are the bedrock of the services that we provide to the citizens of Warsaw. To ensure the continued excellence of our municipal operations, it's imperative that we offer compensation that is not only fair and equitable, but also competitive within the regional job market. We've done a really good job of keeping our employees' salaries a little bit higher than median within the state. But I just wanted to make sure that people understand that we provide amazing services to our residents. And for that, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our employees who are actually out there doing all that good work. So the first one we're going to look at is Ordinance 2025-0901. That's the 2026 General Salary Ordinance. A lot of discussions with the Wage Committee this year, a lot of give and take. What we decided with the majority of our civilian positions is that we were going to give a $1,600 across the board addition to their yearly wages. That is typically what we've been doing in the past is a percentage raise. And what that's done is kind of our higher earners are getting more of a raise than what our lower earners are. So we thought if we did it this way this year, that will kind of help balance that out, as our lower wage positions are going to get a bigger percentage of the raise this time instead of the top positions. So that was the thought process that we ended up coming up with. And then in the end, these are the maximum wages that everybody will see. There were a handful that we did some adjustments on, but for the most part, it was pretty much across the board.
The other thing that we did that we promised we would do this year was look at our department heads
Yes.
and make a concerted effort with the mayor's input as to where those needed to be so that we had those up to date, because we worked really hard on our line employees, and
Yes.
now we needed to deal with that this year.
I appreciate not only the entire council, but specifically the Wage Committee. There's countless meetings catching you up in HR in the conference room, meeting with department heads, meeting with me, and working through not only this general increase, which I really appreciate. The $1,600 is 2% for our higher earners, but it's a higher percentage, like Denny said, for some of our lower wage earners, and I appreciate that. And then handful of corrections. Again, I just appreciate the efforts.
And then just a reminder that they will also get their longevity pay.
It's interesting, the concept you brought up of as far as not going with a percentage, but with a specific dollar amount this time. And I can see the problems with just doing the percentage every time. I could also see a problem with doing just a set dollar amount every time. So is this something that we're kind of thinking about looking at in the future and kind of bouncing back and forth and trying to keep things in balance by doing that?
Yeah, I think
Or-
the consensus of the wage committee, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is that each year we're going to continue to look at all of our positions and we want to keep us right there above the median wage for the state of Indiana. So whichever route we need to go with that, I think is what we'll look at. So we're going to keep it flexible.
Something I hadn't considered before. I like it.
I think Jeff would remember for years, they just did stipends. And this is different than that because this is actually going on their salary. So it's not a stipend, it's actually added in.
The total amount is a little less by going a dollar amount overall. Its impact on the overall budget, careful, it's far more complex than that, but that's the concept. And then also your lowest wage earners hitting 4% or just over 4%. And I appreciate it, again, these trying times, the economy, inflation, that the 1,600 hitting the higher earners at about 2%, but the 1,600 a bigger impact on a lower wage earner. So, and remember, longevity, like Diane said, you can see it in the ordinance. That also is rewarding our longtime employees who oftentimes make more money per hour or their salary than other earners. So, Jack, it just seemed to work. And again, I was impressed with the wage committee's efforts to work through all of this. And again, countless hours. So.
The other good thing I want to point out on the salary ordinance is our health insurance premiums went down 3.5% this year. So that's 2 years in a row that we've had a reduction in our premiums. Thankful for the AIM Medical Trust and then our employees that are taking care of themselves and keeping us out of those higher bracket insurance premiums.
Privileged to serve on the board. Dr. Talmer, again, a huge impact on getting us in, and then his leadership with the Medical Trust. It's been a privilege to sit in these meetings online or go to Indy and work through this. And the Medical Trust is in great shape, and our city obviously at a negative 3.2% increase. It is incredible what we're able to do, not only for the taxpayers, but let's get back to the employees. So, huge break.
Yeah, many thanks to Mayor Benny and those who work on the Wage Committee, because I think in light of questions we have about funding and so forth in the future, this made sense for this coming year.
Denny, you do need action on this first reading?
Yeah, it'll be voted for the first reading, then we'll come back in 2 weeks for the second reading.
Okay.
I would move to approve ordinance number 2025-09-01.
Motion to approve, is there a second? Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. This ordinance passes on first reading. Thank you. Denny, next item.
Okay, next item is ordinance 2025-0902, which is the 2026 police salary ordinance. With police and fire, the way that their pension works is a little bit different than the civilian employees. So it made more sense to keep them on a percentage basis. So with our police department, we did 2% on both their base wage and their rank incentive. So it was a 2% overall for their maximum biweekly wage. A couple other items to note on their salary ordinance. You'll notice that we put CARES under the police department this year. It's the third from the bottom there. The community resource specialist, the two ladies that work for CARES, and then also their administrative assistant. We switched them over to the police department instead of the fire department. There were some safety concerns more than anything else, and we wanted to make sure that our officers knew where they were and what they were up to, just for their own safety. And then another piece of that is it come to funding that program and how can we keep that program running and keep it growing. And it just made more sense to put it under the structure of the police department with the way that they have their administration set up. And Captain Joel Beam will be the one leading that effort now.
Council's approved for next year, but again, the transition, that opioid dollars will be used to fund CARES, but again, putting it into this ordinance. I appreciate that.
Right.
And it probably goes without saying, but if they are civilian employees in either police or fire, then they're receiving the 1,600.
Yes, correct. Yeah, the civilian employees are the same as the,
And then we had both departments go through the stipends with us one by one, and we eliminated quite a few. So,
yeah, we, on the police salary ordinance, we got rid of the animal control stipend because we actually have, that's built into the job description for our community compliance officers now. And then we did add the peer support specialist. Those are the officers that are there for their brothers when they see the tough times and need somebody to vent to or to talk to get some of those emotions out. So we did put a stipend in for that. The chief and his team will decide on which of those officers get that. I know they've got several officers down there that have been trained in it already and have been doing the job for a while. But we wanted to be able to give them a little bit of something for being that extra support.
and then we moved the stipend for the field training officer to $25 per day of instruction, because they're not always instructing, and so
Correct.
that made more sense to pay them for when they're doing that job.
Denny, as a point of clarification, did you say 2% for the base wage and 2% for the rank incentive?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that the way we've done it in the past?
Last year, we only gave, I think we did 4.5% last year, but I think it was only on their base
Only
wage.
to the base?
And
Okay.
we kept their rank incentive the same. So this year, we put it on both of those.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Been a lot of work by the wage committee and Denny and working with the police department to come up with this ordinance. I'll entertain a motion to approve on first reading.
So moved.
Motion to approve on first reading is our second.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. Thank you. That ordinance passes, Denny, on first reading. Next item.
Okay, next ordinance is 2025-0903. This is the 2026 Warsaw Wayne Fire Territory Salary Ordinance. And this is the ordinance that probably seen the most change out of any of them. One of the things that we have encountered quite often is that there is a disparity between the base pay of the fire department against the police department. They both are in the same pension fund. So that kind of created some confusion at times. So I sat down with Chief Schilling and the Wage Committee. Their overall budget line item for their payroll didn't go over 2%, but we revamped the entire way that their pay is structured. So we raised their base pay to be competitive, and then we lowered their rank pay. So it all equaled out in the end, but it's better set up now, not only for the newer firefighters and when they go to retire, but also a little bit more appeasing to be able to climb the rank and get into those admin positions. We've had some problems with filling some administrative positions within the fire department because it was more advantageous for the firefighters to stay on shift work. So.
And Denny, correct me if I'm wrong, but Chief Schilling really wanted to move in this direction, not only coming to
Yes.
you, but also the Wage Committee to make this change. Is
This,
that
yeah,
correct?
this was something that they've actually been asking for since I've started over 3 years ago. And once Chief Schilling started to understand the things that we were doing, and he came to us and said, I really want to push this forward for my firefighters. And he had all the right reasons, so there was no reason for us to not entertain it and look at it. I think we did right by the firefighters by doing it this way.
Any questions for Denny on this one, this ordinance?
You'll also notice that we took away pretty much all of their stipends except for their advanced EMT and their pension secretary. So part of that compromise of changing the wages around was getting rid of some of those stipends that were kind of all over the place.
There are no questions. I'll entertain a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading.
Make a motion.
Motion to approve by Jurgen. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Cindy. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Next item, Denny.
All right, and finally, we have ordinance 2025-0904, which is the 2026 elected salary ordinance. You'll see that we made some changes within our elected salary ordinance. I remember when I first started, there was a wage study that was done, and we were in the midst of doing some wage adjustments mid-year when I first came on. And one of those wage adjustments that we were looking at was the council pay. According to the study, we were severely underwater with our council pay compared to like communities. At that time, you all as the council were very cognizant of what was going on. You guys really wanted to take care of the employees. So we only bumped you guys up half of what the wage study said that we should bump you up to, with an acknowledgement that we were going to come back and finish that with the next go-round with salary ordinances. Well, we didn't do that last year. We put it off another year. But this year, we decided it was time to go ahead and make that move to make sure that you guys are compensated fairly. I know what you guys do takes a lot of time, and you guys are doing it on your time. You're doing it with your equipment, the things that you guys have to pay for out of pocket, not only with just being on the council, but being on the different committees and the groups and things that you guys oversee. So we're going to bump the council pay up to $12,000 a year. We also made adjustments for the clerk and the mayor. I think we made both of them around 4%, 4.5%, somewhere in there. Again, we're definitely underwater when it came to our elected salaries. And we need to make sure that, not only for you guys, but for the future of our elected officials for the city, that we stay on pace with where we should be at, so.
Vinnie, you're also proposing a 10% premium for the council
And
president.
yes, a
Did it
10%
Extra work.
premium for the council president, correct. So the council president would get an extra $1,200 a year. And the council, as you all know, the council president takes on a lot of extra duties and time and really stands up for you guys and the rest of the city. So it's only fair that we compensate them just a little bit more. So.
My 24 years on the council, I can't believe I just said that. The last 3 terms, changes, not only in the city and expectations, but also with Dr. Tolmer, there was just far more work that the council was doing that I did not see my first 3 terms. Instead of once a month meeting, it turned into twice a month, and the countless hours to prep. And then the committee system that Diane and Jack and others started to create and work through, and then you guys jumping on board, the wage committee being mentioned tonight. Very impressed with the efforts. Many of you meeting with me, maybe more than what you like, and Jack, you be quiet, and but, you know, that kind of thing. And I greatly appreciate it too. It is a different job. Privilege to do it, and all of you, I know, feel that way, but it's different than what it was 10, 15, 20 plus years ago. So thank you for your efforts, regardless of what happens here. Anything else, Denny? I think you hit
I don't believe
all
so.
of them in that memo.
Yeah. I think we hit all the highlights.
This is another ordinance, and again, it has to have 2 readings. This one, I think, though, Lynn, doesn't have to be approved until
December 31st.
December 31st. But again, it would be nice if you would consider taking action on this on first reading.
I just had one thing to add to it. The mayor said, what strikes me also is you all meet Monday nights at 7, a couple times a month. Not every council meets in the evening like that and gives up their Monday evenings with their family to be here. But I appreciate that you make an effort for the most part to meet at 7 o'clock in the evening to allow the majority of our community with traditional working hours an opportunity to come and be here for the public comments and them being able to hear. There's an awful lot of 3 o'clock meetings, 4 o'clock meetings around the state of council that just doesn't afford the majority of the members of the community to be able to participate if they wanted to come. So there's some extra appreciation, I guess, from me as a community member that you're willing to give up your evenings to be here to allow probably more participation than you would otherwise get.
Any further discussion on this ordinance?
Just a point of clarification, Danny, in the ordinance, you have it correct, but in your letter, it says an increase of 12,000. I assume that's supposed to be an increase to 12,000?
Yes, to 12,000. That was
Okay.
a typo.
Not a problem.
Lynn caught all of them at once.
I would appreciate the address.
That's a different
I
discussion.
was on a street today, too.
That's very generous, but I don't think that's what we intended.
No, that's not what we intended to
An
do.
increase 2, good catch, Jurgen. Yeah.
Amazing what one letter.
Yeah, I know it.
I should know this, I have no idea. What's the council's current wage in 2025? Do you have that data in front of you?
I do not.
9,000,
9,600?
I think so.
Somewhere, yeah, some in that area, yes.
Okay.
I don't
10,600,
know.
11,200.
I was thinking 8,300, so maybe it is higher, I don't know, off the top
Oh,
of
it
my
could be
head.
83.
I know I believe we were about $7,000 under what the wage study showed that my predecessor had done.
We
And you guys did half of it at that time. and-
Because we're bringing us up to what we found in 2022.
Right.
Just saying.
I think, Danny, you're correct. I think we're 7,000 or 8,000 less than the county council, if not more.
Regardless, you guys deserve every penny of it. And I wish more people could see behind the scenes and see what all you guys do to help the city.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. There's more going on than just this, a lot more.
Well, I guess assuming if we're at 99,000 and change, I think in most years past, and I understand this is more of a wage adjustment than just a, you know, cost of living increase that
Correct.
we traditionally do, so it's a little different, but typically, you know, we've always just kind of done whatever we've done for the civilian employees as well. And so I suppose if you do the math, it's only a couple $100 different, so I guess I'm okay with that. I just, if it's gonna be a huge discrepancy and there's gonna be thousands and thousands of dollars compared to everybody else getting 1,600, you know, that's probably where I would take issue, so.
David Sloan wrote in November of 2022 that the common council salary was going to be increased to $8,556.
In 2022?
That was his article in
2024.
November of
Oh.
2022. That in November of 2022, he wrote that it would be increased in 2023 to
Okay.
8,556. So I think that's your
Yeah.
current.
Well, with the bump last year that you guys took, it'd be a little bit more than that.
I'll double check and let everybody know sometime tomorrow.
Any other comments or questions?
I'm okay with it. The way it is, whatever it is. I'm okay
That's
with
where I go to
whatever it
get
is.
my news.
Yeah, I don't think
I
any
still
of us
like
do it
the
for
increase
money.
of $12,000.
This is the first reading on this ordinance like the other ones. Any other questions or comments? Thanks again to the Wage Committee for their efforts on all fronts, including this last one. Not easy to do, looking at elected official salaries, and but great deal of appreciation for your work, working with Denny, and proposing this to council.
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2025-0904.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Real quick, I just want to thank Diane, Mike, and Jurgen for all you guys' time in the Wage Committee and put this thing together. On behalf of our employees, we truly do appreciate and thank you very much for all you do to take care of all of us. So thank you again.
I would like to second that. I appreciate the Wage Committee more than you can imagine. One of the, well, our greatest asset is our employees. They are what makes the city work. And we need to take care of them. And I like to think we've done a pretty good job over the past number of years. And I think when we first jumped into a wage committee, after a couple of years, I heard sounds of, well, we finally got it, we're done. And I knew that was not the case. It was going to be an every year thing.
We're done for a couple months.
We're done for a couple months, that is correct. It's always changing, it's like sand.
I would like to say it's a real privilege to meet with the department heads, and I wish you all could do that. And they just sing the praises of their employees, and they never ask for anything for themselves. And we definitely wanted to look their way because we've been needing to do that for a couple years now. And, but it's just so impressive to hear them talk about their employees and their departments, and some of the incentives that Denny's put in have just led to a much more positive atmosphere all around in working for the city. And so it's a real privilege just to hear everything they're doing, because we don't hear all of it here, and we hear a lot of it in Board of Works. But when you're on Wage Committee and you listen to them each present, it's great.
Sign of good leadership.
Yes.
We've got good leaders.
We do have good leaders, and they're looking out for their people.
And I think what's nice is hearing the department heads praise each other too for the helpfulness and the way
Yes.
they work together. And
Yeah.
so that's been a joy.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for going through those. It's not over. We'll have to revisit these again in the coming weeks. Any other matters?
I'd like to just give a public shout out to Denny for helping shepherd us through what is really a complicated formula to try to come up with all these numbers and reconcile how you do this, compare us to other cities. We're not like a lot of other cities. We're, in many ways, we're pretty unique here in Warsaw. And Denny, this is not a rhetorical question. I don't know the answer. I hope the answer is good. What is the turnover of our employees?
Very minimal.
Okay.
We have a full fire department, we have a full police department. I think right now we have 2 positions that are open within the city.
Okay, so that tells me we're doing something right.
We're definitely doing something the right way.
We are doing it right. We're doing right by our employees. We're doing right by our department heads. And it's been a pleasure to serve on that committee. It really has. And like Diane said, it's so interesting to sit down and talk with these department heads and hear what their problems are and the issues that they face, and how do we retain people, how do we recruit people. And as most of you know, it's a lot easier to retain an employee than to try to recruit an employee. You have the cost of the recruitment, you have the cost of the training, you have the cost of the new equipment needed. It's a lot cheaper to pay them a little more, like Denny said, and keep them. It's cheaper. We get better service. So, thanks to everybody. This is good. I've already got a couple things in mind for next time.
We'll get started a little bit early.
All right, so thank you, council, for looking our way on this. We really put a lot of time and effort and thought, a lot of thought into this. So I hope everybody's happy.
One comment I would make from one of the boards I serve on, Main Street, Warsaw, is this past weekend, we had an awesome 3-day fashion weekend. Several downtown businesses participated in the Friday night events as well as Saturday. We had a red carpet, we had paparazzi, a cabaret performance by Wagon Wheel actors and singers. And it was really an awesome event, and I think did Warsaw proud, so.
Anyone else on the board? I will tell you that the Deer Task Force, the month of September, which is not an entire month, but that's when we get started with deer reduction, they were able to take 14 deer. So 14 in September, maintenance phase. But got that communication from Todd Braddock, who came and visited several days ago. So, okay. All right. Again, I
Will
wanna
these all
thank-
require a second reading?
They will all
Okay,
of
I thought
the-
so, just wanted to clarify.
Yes, they will. All of them. Second reading. Okay. Well, again, I appreciate everybody's efforts tonight. We do have some visitors here, outside some department heads. Would anybody like to say anything? Any comments? No? Okay. Welcome, and glad that you came tonight. Good. Welcome.
So I have one more thing.
All right.
So y'all approved Dustin Dillon for his new position, and just in the short time he's been, we have good department heads. Just, that's one thing that's good for certain in this city, is we have good department heads, but Dustin's additional help from the short time he's been at the position, I've had some discussions with him, and I think it's helping our department heads. I think it's helping our departments. He's been very efficient. He's up on a lot of stuff, so I think you guys did a good job with helping create the position that Dustin's filling, and he's certainly jumping right into the role I think you all intended him to take. So I wanted to thank you for creating that position for him.
Mayor, any update on the parking meter?
Justin is hard at work, and yeah, Justin put you on the spot. Sorry to
Almost got away.
Should have left while you had the shades.
I do want to say one more thing about the dedication of the city council. Yeah, we have 2 city council meetings a month, but it's rare that I go to a public meeting or any of the subcommittees or committee meetings that we have, and I don't see at least one of you there. So you guys are very dedicated and put in the hours. So glad to see you bumping that up a little bit. So an update on the parking. We have the technology, we have the equipment in for the guys. They're trained on how to use the plate scanners now. I will be working, I met with Jack last week to go over some of the proposed ordinance changes, and I did want to put out an invitation to any of you who want to come by the office and see those ordinance changes, or I'll meet with you virtually, or meet you for a cup of coffee, or whatever you want to do. I'll print out the proposed changes, and we'll go through them and look at them and see what you guys want to add to that as it comes through the city council. The fees for the parking will be changed as we've discussed, but it's been a while since the parking ordinance was looked at, so there's a few things we probably want to dust off and revise on there as well. So
Your input would be very, very helpful as he continues to work through this. I think the trial phase is going to start, if not already, and we want to make sure we have the ordinance and all of the fees, fines, and everything related to that, what you're wanting as we move forward, especially into the winter and then spring, and it's full steam ahead. So really appreciate Justin's efforts. There's been lots of people obviously helping, but like I've said before, it's been so much work, and thanks for getting us to this point.
I'd like to encourage each one of the council members as well to go up and spend just a little bit of time with Justin. The changes that he's looking to do are, they're not drastic, but they can be confusing from time to time, you know? And sitting down and talking a little bit, what the thoughts are behind it and everything. I'm sure he would appreciate your input. Our penalties are long overdue. They're still not going to come anywhere close to the same penalties that are issued in Fort Wayne, but they are something that do need addressed. So please take some time, and you're getting extra money next year, so let's work on it.
And again, I think the ordinance changes, again, is just to help not only with the compliance officers and the equipment that they're using, but also the bottom line is, it's to encourage turnover in the downtown.
Right.
And keep everything moving for the good of the merchants and those that want to shop in the downtown. So that's the idea. It's to promote just friendly, neighborly behavior. So, all right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We've adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. And welcome to our visitors.
I was going to say no.
I was waiting.
Jeremy, Justin, thanks, man.
I went to the event at the pavilion and I couldn't get up.
Remember, council, we have to sign tonight the one ordinance.
Justin? Yeah, that's true.